Hi besties and welcome back to my channel. I thought it'd be really fun if we went over my July wrap up and then go over my August TBR. I actually did not read that many books in the month of July because I keep wanting to say June. In July because I was getting fresh out of a book slump. I actually didn't get out of this book slump till like last few weeks of July, which is crazy to even think about. But I've only read 3 books. That's so insane, and I haven't read any books in the months before that. To be honest, I did not want to give you guys a wrap up with just these 3 books. I felt like that would have been pretty boring, so we're just gonna combine it all. And July wrap up, August TBR, which is she looks intimidating. That's a big stack of books for someone who just got out of a book slump. So we're gonna start off with the first book that actually kind of got me out of my slump. If anything can get me out of a book slump, it's Frida McFadden and her thrillers, because I feel like they're so fast-paced and I'm always just shocked, and I never want to put her books down when I start them. I'm gonna stop talking about the book slump now. We're gonna talk about the book. So this is The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. This is a psychological thriller, which I think all of Frida McFadden's books are psychological thrillers. This is the 3rd book in the Housemaid trilogy, which is so crazy to even say because when The Housemaid first came out, I didn't think there was going to be a 2nd book, let alone a 3rd book, and it was just so crazy. So I don't want to say too much about this just in case you guys haven't read the first 2 yet, because I feel like it spoils just a little bit of something that ends up happening, just a tiny bit. But we have our female main character as always. Her name is Millie, and Millie used to be a maid and she used to clean people's houses, and there was just stuff going on, stuff that let's just say, I'm just gonna say that she has a past. I feel like it's so hard to do a wrap up on a thriller book because you don't want to spoil anything, but basically Millie used to be a housemaid who cleaned people's houses. She has a past, and now she thinks the past is coming back to haunt her. I'm trying my best here, you guys. I'm trying my best. Millie and her husband and her 2 children end up moving into a house, and now she has someone else coming in and cleaning their house for them. So honest with you guys, I really don't know how to describe a book. I'm having so much trouble trying to tell you guys what this book is about. But basically, I just want to like, the premise of the book is Millie moves into this neighborhood. She thinks things are gonna be great, and then right off the bat things are just kind of weird. She has like 2 neighbors that are very odd and like suspicious in a way, and it's just all very eerie and creepy, and I feel like I can't say too much because everything that I want to say I will end up spoiling this book, and I don't want to do that. I want to say one thing: I really do love Frida's writing, and I've read so many of her books and I usually rate them a 4-star because of how much I enjoy them. I think they're really good. Like 4.5 or 4.75 is usually like the range I will go in, and so it's kind of hard for me to like rate anything lower than that. But with that being said, I did rate this book 3 stars, I think. You know, just the plain 3 stars is what I rated it. I feel like there was a lot of potential with where this could have went, and I don't know, I'm not disappointed. I enjoyed reading it. It was nice to get back into the world of the characters in this book and just to see how things are going now, and I just love a Frida McFadden read, and I feel like this is nice to get you out of a slump. The next book I read is Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. Oh my god. I don't even, you guys, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say because I put off this book for so long because I was very nervous. I know a lot of people said that they were like crying to this book. This book holds such a dear place in my heart, and I mean that. This is the 3rd book in the Magnolia Parks universe, so I was really excited to start this because I loved Magnolia and BJ's story and I couldn't wait to read more. I think I put off reading these because I like to listen to them as audiobooks, and I listen to them on Spotify. The voice actor for Magnolia, I really like her voice, and I like the little accents and everything. I don't know, I love it. So that's how like I read it. I listen and I read along. It's a romance. It's more of a character driven romance, I will say that. If you guys are wanting to get into this series, it's more character driven than romance. And it's kind of like they're just like retelling their little story to us in a way. I don't even know what to say. I feel like there was so many times where things were so close to them just figuring all of their issues out, and it just, every single time there was something that stopped them, something that got in the way. All I have to say about this book is I love it. I feel like there's a lot of things that came to light in this book that in the first book you were probably questioning, like, okay, so like, but like why, you know? Because I feel like in the first book I was kind of like I hear what you're saying, but why? there's a lot of whys that I had in the first book. In this second book of their little story, definitely cleared a lot of things up. Very nice to get back into their world and just have a lot of questions answered. The ending kind of threw me for a loop. It was definitely a plot twist that I was not expecting, and I was just very shocked, to say the least. I feel like there was no other emotion on my face. I've been like thinking about this book ever since I finished it. Like, I can't stop thinking about it. This was a 5-star read for me. This was a 5-star read because I feel like we really got to see more of the characters. I feel like mainly BJ, there was a lot of questions answered, and I don't know, I just really feel for BJ because I feel like he's went through so much. I don't know, I don't have anything else to say before I start tearing up. The last book I read, I'm kind of nervous to show you guys this book. Oh my god, I have been putting this book off. This book has been on my shelf for a good 2 years now, and I finally read it, and I'm kind of nervous to show you guys what it is. I'm kind of nervous to show you guys what the book is. I read A Court of Thorns and Roses. Miss Sarah J. Maas. Can we get a round of applause? This is an adult fantasy. This is the first series in the Massiverse, I want to say. ACOTAR is like the first series, and there's Stone Glass, and then there's Crescent City. I don't even know what to say, you guys. There's so much that happens in this book that I am still processing it. I'm still processing everything that happened in this book. I have a rating for it, but I'm still processing. I feel like so much happened since the book started all the way to when the book ended, and there was not a time I was like, oh, like it's getting boring, like can I put this book down? I was intrigued the whole time reading this. Basically, I feel like, as we all know, I feel like even if you haven't read this book, you already know our main character, our female main character, Feyre. She is a huntress. She ends up seeing this wolf in the woods, and she ends up, can I say that word, killing? She ends up like killing the wolf. Turns out this wolf wasn't like an ordinary wolf, and then out of nowhere this like immortal beast comes and takes her away from her family, and then from there she's like learning to adapt to the world that she is now in because she can't go back to the mortal world. There's a bunch of secrets getting held from her and a lot of things not being told to her, and there's lots of fairies and fays, and there's a bit of romance thrown in here. It was a terrible summary and kind of like a wrap up of this book, but I rated this book 4 stars, which is pretty high. Actually, not 4.75 to be completely exact. I rated this book 4.75 stars. I had so much fun reading it. I love this book beginning to finish, and I'm so happy to finally be in the Massiverse and reading this book. And if you guys want any more preface on how much I enjoyed this book, I finished it in 2 days. Coming out of a slump, I finished this book in 2 days. I don't think I've ever finished a fantasy in 2 days. I finished this book so fast, and I was not expecting myself to do that, and I was just pleasantly surprised. I feel like there was just so much that I thought was not gonna happen, and there's so much that did happen, and I loved Sarah J. Maas's writing style. I loved the way she had the story go. I loved everything about it. I loved everything about it. It would be a 5-star, but I wanna keep reading the books, and then I might come back and change my like ratings on some of the books, but for now this is definitely a 4.75. I had so much fun reading it. I feel like everyone knows that there is Talman, Reason, and Feyre, and there's like a whole bunch of other characters, but like that doesn't matter. I'm gonna be so honest right now. I like Talman. Talman's okay. I'm not like, yeah, like Talman, like oh my god, like we love Talman. I'm gonna be so honest reading this, even knowing that people don't like Talman from just like seeing it over TikTok and like Bookstagram and stuff, I was like, yeah, like Talman's okay. And that was just my personal preference about this whole book. I was like, he's okay. I don't know if I really like him. Maybe I just had the vibe. Maybe I just picked up on the vibes when I was reading. I was kind of like, ugh. But when Reason came in, he's all sassy. I don't know. The way that Reason is, he's very sassy. I like him. I like Reason. And I'm really hoping that we get so much Reason and Feyre. So let's get into this August TBR, because I have a list of books that I want to get to, because August is like, well, what's the first day of fall? I don't know when the first day of fall is. I can't remember right now. But as soon as August hits, that's my fall. As soon as August hits, that is my fall. So these are kind of fall-ish type books that I want to read, so we're gonna get into these. Ow, my finger. First book I have on the list is Sage and Storm. This is by Leigh Bardugo. and this is part of the Grishaverse. I read Shadow and Bone sometime earlier this year, and I really loved it. And I just want to get back into this world because I keep seeing little Shadow and Bone TikToks all over my For You page of like the show, the Netflix show, and I really want to read it because I'm starting to realize I really am like into like the fantasy worlds like this, and I want to like start like Game of Thrones, House of Dragons. I'm like getting all over the place, but like these type of books I want to read and I want to watch the shows, and I'm just like really in that like fantasy era of my life right now, and that's all I want to get into. This basically is following Alina. She is the female main character in the first book, and she has this, she's like, she has this power. Basically, in this book, she's falling into like this game of like magic with the Darkling. She's slipping away from her humanity. And to save her country, she has to choose between her power and the love that she thought that like she would always have. Next book I want to read is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This is by Holly Jackson. And I want to read this because the show is now going to be on Netflix, actually the day that this video comes out. There's 3 books in this trilogy and I have not read one. And I already know everybody on TikTok is going to be talking about it, and I'm going to get FOMO. I believe this is a YA mystery. There is this popular student who ends up being murdered by her boyfriend, and that's all that anybody talked about around town. And then now 5 years later, Pip is her name. She's our female main character. I think she's doing a school project, and she is going to be uncovering the mystery of the murder of Andy Bell, and you kind of just go around her little story, and she's like digging for answers. I think for finding out things, someone's gonna end up trying to like come after her. I don't know too much, you guys. I like to go into books blind. Next book I'm wanting to pick up is If Only I Had Told Her. This is by Laura Nolan. This is the second book to the If He Had Been With Me duology. I've been wanting to read this ever since I read If He Had Been With Me, and I saw that she was writing a second book. But then I saw a few reviews being like, oh, like it could have been better, like we barely get any of Ben's point of view and da da da. But then a lot of other people are saying that certain point of views in this book made them cry a lot. And I don't know, I just really want to jump back into this world because I miss these characters. There's just a lot I feel like happening in this book, and I feel like I am not mentally ready for it, but I want a good cry. Next book on my August TBR is Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. You guys probably saw this in my last video. I really just want to have a little fun romance on this TBR between all the other books that I am planning on trying to read. So if I ever get overwhelmed, I can just scan through a nice quick read of Ali Hazelwood's. This is a forbidden romance trope. I feel like one thing Ali Hazelwood really knows how to do is like a chemistry, science, romance, like girls in STEM. And I've never read one of her books like this, so I'm really excited. One of you guys did comment on my last video, and you guys said that the spice in this book was tea, okay? You said it was good, okay? So I'm hoping that you're not lying to me, because I wanna get some spice from Ali Hazelwood. After I finished Bride, I was like, dang, like I kind of want another little spice, but like not like werewolf and vampire spice. If you know, you know. Because you know, if you know, you know. That was just a little bit too much, but I enjoyed the writing. I feel like I just need to end it there. I'm like, okay, next one, thank you. Next book on my TBR is one that I actually already started. Can you guess? A Court of Mist and Fury. This is the second book in the ACOTAR series. I'm on page 36. I'm not that far. I feel like I've read so much, and I feel like it's going by so fast, and I'm like, yeah, I've read so much. I got like, there's nothing. Look at the rest of this book. Anyways, I feel like I'm really excited because as soon as I finish ACOTAR, this is the only book that I wanted to start. This is the only book that I want to start because I'm like, I want to get back into that world. I had so much fun. I'm telling you guys, I don't know what Sarah J Maas puts in her books. I don't know what she puts in her books. But the way I'm like, I don't want to put it down. I don't even care what you're talking about. I just don't want to put it down. Like, I'm having like the time of my life reading this book right now. Currently reading this, and I don't want to say too much. I don't want to spoil anything for myself by reading the back or anything like that. But just know I'm reading this and I'm enjoying it and I'm loving it. But not least, the last book on my TBR, A Court of Wings and Ruin by Miss Sarah J Maas, of course. I feel like the ACOTAR series is my top priority for this month, and if anything, I probably will just read the entire ACOTAR series. Because this is all that I want to read. I'm gonna be so honest, the rest of my TBR, she's not looking too hot compared to ACOTAR right now. All I want to read is ACOTAR. ACOTAR, ACOTAR, ACOTAR. I'm definitely not gonna read the back until I give you guys a premise on what this book is about, because I'm not spoiling that for myself. But just know that book is on the TBR. I'm so excited for this TBR. I feel like this is gonna be a really good reading month since I'm finally out of my slump, and I don't know, I just have really good vibes. It could be because of ACOTAR. I'm literally making ACOTAR my new personality. Like, I'm so sorry, but it's probably because of ACOTAR. And I don't know, I just have such a love for ACOTAR. ACOTAR, 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 ACOTAR. Okay, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna really try to get better at filming these, because I already, just the way I was talking, I already know I was kind of probably all over the place with some of these books. If you've read any of the books that I have read for the month of July, or I'm getting to read for the month of August, please share your thoughts below. No spoilers though. I'm really excited. I feel like I have a very hopeful TBR for August, and I'm really excited to jump into the worlds of my books that I have chosen. I feel like those are going to be just really good books to read for the fall time, and just getting in that cozy fantasy mystery thriller mood. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. And yeah, I definitely will try to get a little better with these reviews for you guys when it comes to giving more of a review and tell you guys more about what the book is about, because I feel like I was a little all over the place, okay? And I don't know, I think that's just how my brain works. I start talking about certain things, I'm just like whoo hoo 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 hoo. Anyways, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.